What is going on YouTube? For those of you who have not yet met me, my name is Jamal, and if this is your first time checking out this channel, then welcome to the family. So today we are going to be talking about 401ks, what they are and how they actually work. Now, if you're anything like me, then you've probably heard from lots and lots of adults in your life that 401ks are really crucial. They help you save money and build wealth. And while you may have heard that a lot, it is one thing to hear something and it's another thing to understand it. For me, all I heard was this message that I blindly believed in, but now I'm at a point where in my life where I can actually dive into what it means when people say that 401k helps you build wealth and how it also helps you save money. Now, if you hate doing math, no worries. I took that part on myself to dive into the nitty-gritty details of doing the math calculations and everything. That way I can provide you with a really simple, realistic picture and give you an overhead view of how things are actually working underneath the surface. Now, if you want to learn more about 401ks, how they work, how they help you build wealth, how they help you save money on taxes, how to get started, it doesn't matter. This video is for you. We're going to be diving into the details. Now, before we do all of that, if you are new to this channel and if you like this type of content and how I break things down, then make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so that way you never miss a video when I post it. Now, with that all being said, let's go ahead and dive right into these details because you guys, I'm ready. Okay, so the first order of business is to jump into what exactly is a 401k. And the way that I like to think about it is a 401k is an investment vehicle, usually offered by your employer that allows you, the employee, to save and invest for your retirement on a tax-deferred basis. Another way to think about your 401k is that it is a huge bucket filled with money that you put into it that you're going to draw from when you reach retirement age, so that way you don't have to work for the rest of your life until your dying days. Now, one of the things that makes a 401k so powerful is that it is funded with pre-tax dollars. Now, what do I mean by pre-tax dollars? Well, think about this. When you get your paycheck, the way that you calculate how much you're going to get is based on how many hours you worked and the rate at which you get paid. So, let's say you work 40 hours a week and you get paid $10 an hour, right? That's going to be $400 for that week. We call that a gross income. And your gross income is basically what you make before anything is taken out of your paycheck. Now, if you've been working for a while, like I have, then you know that that $400 is not what you're going to see. You're actually going to see a number smaller than that. Because once you get paid, you lose money to the federal government with your federal taxes. You lose money to the state with the state taxes. You're paying Social Security taxes, Medicare taxes, maybe some health insurance on top of that. You're paying a lot of money out of your gross income. The number after you make all of those subtractions, that is called your net income. This is what's actually going to the bank. Now, what is pre-tax dollars? Pre-tax is basically the amount of money you have before you make all of those subtractions. So the gross income, but before you get the subtractions taken from it, that is what pre-tax dollars is. It's dollars that have not been taxed yet. By using pre-tax dollars to fund your 401k, you are giving your money more of a head start in order to grow and in order to develop. So that way later on, when you are ready to retire, you'll have a bigger bucket to withdraw from. Now, not everything is free in life and neither is this. Eventually, you will have to pay taxes on this money. Usually you pay taxes on it whenever you decide to withdraw from it, hopefully when you reach that retirement age. But not having to pay taxes on it initially still gives it a huge leg up in developing and growing into a better retirement fund. So now that we are all caught up on what exactly a 401k is, let's go ahead and dive into the details for how it actually generates you wealth. So imagine this for a second for me. You are 25 years old and you are starting your career. So now that you're a big boy, you're a big girl, you're going to start putting money towards your retirement fund, your 401k fund. Now you decide that you want to put $5,000 a year in this fund. Now let's say you do this for a total of 30 years. And if we ignore company matching and assume that you get a 5% rate of return on your money, at the end of that 30 years, you have made close to $350,000. Now let's do the math on this real quick. You have invested $5,000 every year for 30 years. That comes up to $150,000 by itself. So at this point, you should be asking, if I have $350,000 in this account, but I've only invested $150,000. How did your money double? Well, think of investing like this. Whenever you invest into anything, you are expecting to do so in order to make more money back. So really, I want you to imagine that every dollar you invest is a little mini employee that you go out and you employ to the world. And the sole responsibility of your mini employee is to go and grab more money back for you without you having to do anything. So the more employees that you put out there into your investment account, the more money they are able to grab and pull back for you. So even though in this example, you've invested $150,000 of your own money, your mini employees that you put out into the world were able to make you double back on what you invested. Now, you guys, I'm not sure about you, but man, that sounds pretty cool to me. So, do you want to hear something else that's cool? Well, the retirement age for most Americans is going to be 65 years old. So the example that I gave you previously, you've invested for 30 years, that puts you at the age of 55 if you start at the age of 25. What happens if you invest for 10 more years? Well, if you invest for 10 more years and put in $50,000 more dollars, you are going to double your money once again. And in your retirement fund, it's going to be an amount that is more than $600,000. Just by waiting 10 years and putting in an extra 50, you've doubled everything that you did prior to. Now, why is this? This is due to compound interest and time. One of my favorite quotes when it comes to investing is the best time to plant an oat seed is 20 years ago. The second best time to plant an oat seed is today. So the more time that your money has in the market, the more time it has to grow for you. And in this instance, 10 years plus $50,000 has allowed it to double your net worth once again. What's up, you guys? I just want to give you a quick interruption. If you like this content so far, then please make sure you hit that like button down below until it turns blue. Smash it for me. It's going to do a lot to helping this channel grow and helping me reach out to more people. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe down below so that way you never miss a video when I post it. So we figured out what exactly is a 401k, and we also figured out how we can use it in order to generate some wealth for when we reach our retirement age. Now, for the meat and potatoes of this video, we are going to dive into, does investing in your 401k actually save you money? And the reason I wanted to tackle this is because I always hear it. People will always come and tell me, Javon, if you put money into your 401k, it's going to help you save money on your taxes. And I just hear the message and I repeat it back to other people. But now we are showing real proof on how this exactly works. So if you're interested in this part, don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to be diving into it. And the way we are going to do this is by comparing two similar scenarios with two different people. The only difference between them is that one is investing in their 401k and the other one isn't. We're going to take a look at what the math is. I'm going to keep it really, really simple for you, and we'll compare the results at the end. For this particular example, I'm going to be saying that these two people are going to make $80,000 a year. Now, for some people, that number may seem really high, and for others, that number may seem really low. I personally chose that number because I think it's a fair estimate to what you can expect to make when you are into the tech field, engineering, anything like that. That's like a fair estimate for what you're probably going to see starting off or even developing further into your career. Now, don't panic if this number is too high or too low for you, because it doesn't matter. The math, it works the same way. So stick with me, don't go anywhere. Let's go ahead and dive more into this. On the left, we have Bob, who has chosen not to invest in his 401k. And on the right, we have Jamal, who has chosen to invest in his 401k. Now, both Bob and Jamal make $80,000 a year, and both take the standard deduction at the end of the year for tax calculations. Now, before we go into this anymore, you may be wondering, Javon, what is a standard deduction? Well, if you are, no worries, I got you covered. A standard deduction, the easiest way to think about it is the part of your money that you don't have to pay taxes on. So imagine this. Imagine you are making $50,000 a year and you are forced to pay 10% on that $50,000 for taxes and everything like that. Well, 10% of $50,000 is $5,000. So if you minus $5,000 from the $50,000 you make, that means you really only have $45,000 left at the end of the year after taxes. Now, with a standard deduction, it is basically saying, hey, on this amount of money, you don't have to pay taxes on. So let's imagine that you get a standard deduction of $10,000. That means that you can subtract $10,000 from the $50,000 to find out how much money you're going to pay taxes on. So $50,000 minus $10,000 equals $40,000. Now let's imagine that we still have to pay 10% on that $40,000. That equals to $4,000, which means at the end of the year, you have $46,000 left over, which is $1,000 more than the $45,000 that you had left in that previous example. So bottom line, standard deductions allow you to save money on your taxes at the end of the year. Now, back to our example. At the end of the year, Bob has paid $10,819 in federal taxes and $4,245,000 in state taxes. Combined, that leaves him paying $15,064 in taxes, which leaves him with $64,936 left over and $0 invested. In comes Jamal. Jamal, being the savvy investor that he is, took a slightly different route than Bob. Even though he lives in the same state and makes the same income, he has decided to invest in his 401k. Jamal invests $4,000 or 5% of his income into his 401k. At the end of the year, Jamal has paid $9,939 in federal taxes, $3,965 in state taxes, and combined that leaves him paying out $13,904 in taxes overall, which leaves him with $62,090 left over and $4,000 invested. But wait, even though Jamal lives in the same state as Bob and makes the same income as Bob, he has managed to pay less in taxes than Bob. How did he pull it off? Well, when you invest in your 401k, you lower the amount of money you are taxed by the amount you invest. Both Jamal and Bob had a standard deduction of $12,000, but since Jamal invested $4,000 of pre-tax dollars into his 401k, his taxable income is $68,000 minus $4,000 that he invested, which comes up to $64,000. So right off the bat, we see Bob is getting taxed more on his money than Jamal is. When we compare Bob's and Jamal end of year stats, this is what we see. Who would you rather be in this example, Bob or Jamal? The answer to that question depends completely on you, but we got that we wanted from this example, which was to see how can investing save us money on taxes. So we talked about the 401k, what it is, how it can help you build wealth, and also how it can help you save money on your taxes at the end of the year. But before we close out of this video, I want to make sure that I compare this analogy to you guys. Let's imagine that your retirement age is a house, and your 401k is a tool that you will use to build that house. Now for this example, your 401k can be a hammer and a tape measure. Can you build a house with just a hammer and some tape measures? Sure, why not? But will it be the best house in the neighborhood? Probably not. And I say that to say that just like your 401k is a tool, there are a whole bunch of other tools out there that you can use to help build your house, to help make sure that in retirement you have all the funds necessary to you. And I talk about these tools on this channel. In fact, if you want to learn more about different investment strategies that are available to you, make sure you check out the video above, and I'm going to give you details on the things that I love to use, that I see out there in the real world, and that I implement in my own life as well. That is all that I have for this video, you guys. If you have made it to the end, then first of all, let me thank you for being a real one. I truly appreciate the support. Make sure you hit that like button down below until it turns blue because it helps the channel grow. And also don't forget to subscribe as well so that way you never miss a video when I post it. Now that we've made it to the end, what did you guys think about the videos? Did you like learning about what a 401k is? Can you imagine any other investment strategies that you're currently using in your life? If you have the answers to any of these questions, make sure you let me know down below in the comments and I will meet you there. Now, that is all I have for you guys. It's been a pleasure making this. I will see you later. Peace, love, and happiness.